And happy Monday to you, sports fan. Glad you could join us here in the ProView Rundown. I'm Adam Diehl from the ProView Network Studios. Got the crew in the zoo, Jay Pull, Josh Barrett, Brown, all them balls so hard, University. We're going to go over some APS Metro Championships a little bit later in the show. We've got the softball final highlights to show you and some baseball highlights we'll show you. Isabel Gonzalez from Lobo Layers, she's stopping by. She's going to talk a little bit about the Mountain West Tournament, what happened, her experiences there. And then also, of course, the NCAA Tournament. Don't know if you watched that massive battle between Zion Williamson and Taco as Duke just holds on against Central Florida. We'll talk a little bit about that because why not? It's still March and the madness still continues. But first, how about this? A great showing in the defending champs from CIF, the Duke City Gladiators, ready to defend their title. Here's what happened Saturday night.
Puerto Rico set up in motion. Donovan has some time into the end zone. It's a touchdown. Out of the gun, Puerto Rico looking deep to Davis again. Touchdown, Dello Davis! It's just Puerto Rico has some time this time. It's complete to Cedric Johnson across the 15-yard line.
And that's just a patient
read here at 21-3. Puerto Rico rolling out wide. It's incomplete. Cedric, this time he's got some room. Now the pressure's coming. The ball's out from behind. Serta's on the pursuit. Dello in motion. Puerto Rico's got all day. He's going to float it to Cedric. Cedric's going to bring it in. Touchdown, Cedric Johnson. Back to receive this one. And we're underway. Dello across from us here. Right in front of us. He makes everyone miss. No one's going to catch him. And got Lindsay in the backfield. Bad snap. Hubner's in trouble. And Serta wraps him up. It's certified. Puerto Rico going deep to Washington. Touchdown. Welcome to Albuquerque, D. Washington. I think he's going to fit in just fine. Davis in the backfield. He's in motion. Puerto Rico calls for the snap. He's going to float it to Washington. And D brings in another one. Touchdown, D. Washington. Sherman Carter back with us here. We're going to float it over to Brown. He's in. Touchdown, Gladiators to Romello Brown. The near side here. They'll fake a handoff. Quarterback keeping himself, and the backup is in for the touchdown.
I mean, that's what they do. Duke City Gladiators. They get another win to start their season. What an atmosphere, to over 4,000 people there, and a great start for the 2019 campaign of the defending champs. So Duke City looking good. Of course, you can watch all those games here on ProView Sports Network and streaming on Pluto TV. Jay Paul, you got yourself a mic over there?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, tell me, man, you were there at Duke City game, and were you surprised with the great atmosphere that was built there for week one?
I mean, I was definitely surprised, even knowing, like, when they won the championship last year, the numbers were up. I'd say maybe like a 3,000. We saw about 3,000, but nothing like this, not a 5,000 people. I mean, the vibe was right. The people were loving it. The kids were loving it. There was a lot more, like, crowd reaction with the kids and stuff. And whether, I don't know, these guys they're looking just as good as they ended it last year. Like, Puerto Rico's dropping dimes like it's nothing. Kickers are making kicks.
Well, in Puerto Rico, of course, he was the quarterback from a year ago. He wasn't part of the championship team with Holbrook last year. Caleb Holbrook leaves. Puerto Rico comes back, and Puerto Rico's just chucking touchdowns all over the place.
Didn't he get injured, like, with the wrist or something? Yeah.
He did.
He broke his wrist
correct.
last 2 years ago. Hey, I mean, Dello's the man. Dello Dirty Dog Davis. He's Dello. He's the man. That's our favorite.
But you got to be like, Dello.
Dello. Dello.
Yeah, little Adele. Come on. Okay, so they win. Duke City is going to play again Saturday. Again, we're going to have a broadcast for you here on ProView Sports Network. It'll be Saturday night, again at 6 o'clock, as they try to go 2-0 on the young season. And so our guy, Coach B, and how about I'm going to throw a big shout out to Dominic Bronte, because he set up this whole thing with John Harbaugh, head coach of the Baltimore Ravens, and his father And they, they were just very accommodating and polite to everyone and met everyone. And so it was really cool to see that.
The stars were out. The stars were out. We had Merrick Tim Keller. We had Josh Pitbull Torres. We had the Harbaughs. We had some movie stars that were there. It was Harbaugh was getting selfies. Like, everybody was just like, let me get a picture, selfies. So the vibe was right. I liked it. Should be a good year. Should be a good season. Okay.
We'll talk a little NCAA tournament coming up after this break, and then we'll talk about Metro Championships in a moment. Come on back.
What is glamour? Frailty. What is desire? Diamonds. They say a life lived without passion is hardly worth living.
Ma'am? Ma'am? Ma'am?
Dang, this one made me feel all special.
High school sports are back. The 2018-19 season kicks off, and you could watch every ProView Network broadcast live on the NFHS network. Every moment, from every game, from every sport, including all NMAA state championships. Get your highly discounted monthly pass now. Go to ProViewNetworks.com and sign up. Watch New Mexico's best.
The service department at Gala Chevrolet is clean, modern, and ready for you. Our master technicians service every make and model, including certified service on any GM vehicle. Service done right the first time, every time, right here at the all-new Gala Chevrolet.
Car Crafters, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Are you sure we're supposed to be doing this?
Don't worry, I've watched him do it 1,000 times. Come on, what's the worst that can happen?
No! Bad dog!
Hi, welcome to Car Crafters. What happened? Don't worry, we'll make it like it never happened.
Car Crafters, it's like it never happened.
Action here on the ProView Rundown. It's a gorgeous Monday in the Duke City. Adam Diehl, Isabel Gonzalez with Lobo Lair now joining us, and you had been coming on to talk about your coverage of Lobos. Now, you got to go to Vegas to cover them in the Mountain West Tournament. How was that?
It was really fun. I know we were talking about it before I left, and you guys weren't sure if I was going to survive it, but here I am.
Did you? So you survived it?
I did, yes,
Okay.
yes.
All right, we'll talk about it. I mean, they win the first game, which was nice to get to the second game, and it really had control of the second game. Most of the game just couldn't pull it out. Tell me about your experience there.
So I was very shocked, especially at just their postseason mode. And Vance Jackson, he was good during the regular season. He had a couple games, but just then in Vegas, something just kind of clicked with him.
I agree.
So that was really exciting to watch, especially even just Utah State. If you saw them play and their defense, they ended up having Utah State with like 24 turnovers, something like that. So that's definitely big. In that game, they could have won. A lot of things were wrong at the end, but
I feel like this is the Vance Jackson that every Lobo fan was like, oh yeah, this is the transfer we're getting from UConn, right? And he did have spurts throughout, I thought, the season that were good, but he really took over. It was his team in the Mountain West Tournament, and I feel like maybe that's the kind of leadership that New Mexico needed all year, but maybe it's foreshadowing what he can be next year for New Mexico.
And it's not just him. What's really cool is that he's a redshirt sophomore right now, but then you also have Keith McGee, who has shown that he can be very explosive. So if they can keep that up next year, and if they learn to use that momentum or just have whatever click earlier, maybe not just postseason.
Do you think Lobo fans are getting sick, though, already of saying, next year we're going to be that team that everybody wants us to be?
I mean, isn't that every fan base, though?
Yeah, it is.
Because at the end of the day, or the season, it's only one team that's going to win the NCAA tournament.
Right.
So everyone's always going to have that 1 year.
So Isabel Gonzalez survives Vegas, and you just mentioned the NCAA tournament. Only one team is going to win it. All right, so let's move on. And a lot of people have that one team winning it is Duke. And so if you paid attention yesterday, that was the game of the tournament. University of Central Florida almost pulled off the upset of the tournament. I mean, ringing around the rim type, last moment.
Twice.
What do you think about that? Yeah, what do you think about that?
Oh, man. Well, before the game, I was just so pumped about Taco Fall and, Zion Williamson. I feel like everyone was. It was pretty intense at the beginning, pretty intense at the end. I didn't know if they were going to pull it off, honestly. They almost didn't.
Well, yeah, and I thought Duke was struggling, I think, getting away from that game. And to be honest, University of Central Florida, you watch them and the way Taco and you know, their guards are playing, and you think, man, how is this a 9 seed? Like, they didn't look like a 9 seed to me at all. I mean, they matched up very well against Duke. But then, you know, players make plays. And when Duke needed it, you know, Barrett hits a monster three-pointer and then, or hits that bucket at the end. Reddish hits a three-pointer. Barrett hits a putback two, and then Zion, who goes straight against Taco to finish and tie the game. Really, essentially, I mean, that was such a big play, and so players make plays, and Duke survives. How's your bracket looking so far right now?
It's looking good. Wait, about that, I was kind of upset in a way that I didn't get to see Taco like if he could make that final play, because he had fouled out.
Yeah.
So I was like, maybe if he had been there, they would have pulled it out. But I'm glad they didn't, in a way, because I have Duke in my Final Four. Okay. But not winning the whole thing.
So who do you have winning it?
I have Gonzaga winning the whole thing.
Is this your bracket right here?
That's my bracket, yes.
Okay. All right. So who? I can't see. It's too far away. You tell me how many? Who do you got in your Final Four? So you got Duke taking on Gonzaga, and then on the other side, do you know what it is? Someone tell me.
So I have North Carolina.
I can't see that small screen, J. Pole. Oh, North Carolina. Who's in our Final Four? I can't see.
North Carolina, Tennessee.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So Tennessee, okay, so they're up, get this, they're up 25 points. And all of a sudden Iowa starts draining threes all over the place, and Iowa puts it in overtime. How are you feeling? You're pretty nervous, probably.
I think you saw my Instagram story where I was there freaking out, and my dog's just there taking a nap, and I was super confident. You know, their first half was good. They looked like the team I wanted in my Final Four, and blowing that big of a lead, it's not what I wanted to see. First overtime of the tournament. It's fun to watch, but not when they're in your Final Four.
Okay, so I thought Gonzaga, your champions that you have, I thought they looked great. Gonzaga did not struggle at both games at all. They've cruised through. Additionally, the team I have winning it, North Carolina, they looked really good. Johnson, he can shoot the rock. May on the inside has been brilliant, but their point guard, White, might be the best point guard in the NCAA right now, playing unbelievable. And so UNC cruised through both of their games and smashed Washington yesterday and move on. And so I thought they looked pretty good.
And you also have Little, who maybe didn't have the best season,
but
now he's playing. So if you combine both of them, you have more in. I think that's what the tournament's about. If you rely on just one player, it might not happen. Like, I picked Gonzaga because I feel like they could have a little bit more depth in the offense.
J. Pole, what do you have? Who do you have? You got Duke?
I got Duke.
Everyone's got Duke.
Why? I mean, is that a bad choice?
Well, you know what? It was about a millimeter of a bad choice yesterday. About a millimeter from being a bad choice.
But if you think about it, Duke already kind of got that terrible game out of the way. Like, will they have another one?
No, I'm with you. And their matchups from here going on forward, Duke, I believe they're going to play Virginia Tech, who they're used to playing. Yeah. I think that bodes well for them. It's a good matchup. I think Duke has no problems. And then, and then maybe things get difficult because maybe they have to play, Michigan State in the Elite Eight. But I feel like Duke's road gets a little bit better now in shooting that road. So I'm with you. I think they got like their really tough game out of the way, and they should have no problems going forward.
I feel like once you get over that pressure, like, you know what that moment feels like. So you know how you're supposed to react then.
I'm with you. J. Pole, who else you got? You got Duke, and who else?
I got Duke and UNC.
That's what I want to see.
Yeah, that's what the people want to see.
Duke and it's the biggest rivalry, and for them to play in the finals would mean so much. Like, I want to see that.
I mean, regular season was out of this world. Like, even when Zion blew his shoe out, like, the superstars were out. Like, seats are going up, and
that's what I want to see. You don't want to see Duke and UNC?
I want to see UNC and Gonzaga.
Oh, well, according to the bracket. Yeah. Okay.
Do you think all this money being made in college, you think these college, that the conversation of paying these Zion Williams that bring in millions, do you think?
My personal opinion, we're going to get into that real quick, I guess, is I think that there should be more money allocated to some of these athletes. But let me tell you something. I'll use Alabama football for an example. Is Alabama football selling out their stadium regardless if there's Tua, what's his name?
Tua Lale or something?
I can't even think of it. Tua Tagovailoa, right? He's a stud quarterback. He's the Heisman Trophy the year before. Tua Tagovailoa, or he's supposed to be the Heisman Trophy this year. Didn't win it, but I think he was the Heisman Trophy. And Alabama's going to sell out with him on the field or without him on the field, okay? Yeah. And so they're going to bring all that money into Alabama, and so why should he get millions of dollars? So I don't think athletes should be getting paid crazy, but I think more money should be allocated towards these athletes for their living expenses and maybe even some fun expenses or whatever. They're getting free educations. People seem to think that doesn't mean anything. Are you kidding me? A free education at Duke University, that means something. So I don't know. That's how I would sit on it.
I am still figure skating, but I was doing it a lot in high school and college, and it wasn't part of school. So it was more difficult, I think, because if you are doing something as part of a school, they help with your schedule. You have people helping you study, and it's a little bit easier in a way. But I do think with athletes in college, if they have a lot of practices in school to go to, if they can't really work, I feel like you're right, they should be given some kind of help. Yeah. Like maybe not get paid, $1 million because they played in Alabama, but there should be something to really help them. If you're stressing over money while you're also studying,
no doubt. But and then who do you start paying? And then how does that figure into it?
Maybe it shouldn't be
you can't pay
like
everybody.
A salary. Exactly. And then people will go to school as like a career. Like you'll go in and you're like, where are they going to pay me the most? Which, I mean, I guess it would be fine, but I feel like what would be fair is that they can use their image. Because they can't get money from like advertising or anything like that. So if they could find a way where they could
why can't they though? Like that they should be able to and be able to still play and keep your non-professional status. All right, we can go on, I think, all day about this conversation. Alden, you want to jump in real quick? I'm guessing.
Yeah, just real quick. I think that maybe that these athletes deserve a certain amount of due funds on like a credit card or like a debit card, that they get a flat amount of money for the season, and that's what they got to work with. I think that
I'm with you. And I think there's a middle ground here to figure it out where you don't have to pay them millions, and then how do you figure that out without like ruining NCAA? But can you do more for the student athlete where they can enjoy their lives and their image? There are only a few players that come in and that are groundbreaking, that are making headlines, like Zion. Like, he is a one-in-a-generation type guy that is probably bringing a little bit of extra money into Duke. But
he had
Duke's
a whole camera for himself. So
right. But Duke's name is still Duke's name. Like, does Zion make Duke? Or no. So Zion doesn't make Duke. Already is established by itself. So how do you start figuring out who is owed what? I don't know. Do you start giving like teams a salary cap? I don't know.
I feel like it would almost come to that because the smaller schools, how do you compete? Right now it's already hard because of the name. Like, you want to play for Duke, but you
can't already. So right now, like a smaller school, even with the budget or not, how can they compete with Duke? So when Wofford is trying to recruit Zion Williams, who they did try to recruit Zion Williams, and Duke is trying to recruit Zion Williams without money involved at all, who does Zion Williams want to play for? Yeah. He wants to play for Duke. So that really has no bearing, I think, in it.
Well, maybe I think it will come down to the schools that are a little bit closer. So even like if the Mountain West, they're in the same conference, but are you going to go to San Jose State, or are you going to go to someone that's consistent like SDSU? So I think you're right. Like, it does have to do with the school, but once money comes in, it'll be even more complicated.
Hey, we're talking dollar bills. we could probably talk about this conversation all day. Appreciate it. Really appreciate you coming on. Congratulations surviving Vegas. I probably would not have survived Vegas, so congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, more to come. We'll see Isabella Gonzalez throughout the year. We got Metro Highlights, Jay?
Yes, sir.
Coming up next, Metro Highlights.
Dreamstyle Remodeling has been wowing homeowners in New Mexico since 1989. Selected as Best Custom Home Remodeler for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Albuquerque Journal, we're also your exclusive provider for top home improvement brands like Renewal by Anderson, Four Seasons, Blaze King, and many others. Founded and headquartered in Albuquerque, Dreamstyle Remodeling is family-owned and now employs more than 500 people across the southwestern U.S. In fact, we've helped more than 60,000 10,000 homeowners improved their home in New Mexico, Arizona, California, Idaho, and West Texas. We're committed to providing a superior customer experience. We've earned 4.6 stars with hundreds of online reviews and have an A+ with the BBB. Dreamstyle Remodeling is a proud supporter of UNM Athletics. Visit our beautiful 10,000 square foot showroom at 1460 Renaissance Boulevard across from Sam's Club, or dreamstyleremodeling.com to make your home remodeling dreams come true.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a #1. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Sports Network. Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Folks, there's no other way but to be all in. Either he's Lord of all or he is not Lord at all. And you can experience the real and authentic, true life change that only God can provide to humanity. See, when we truly encounter Jesus and purpose to know him and follow his teachings, hashtag life change will occur.
Get into the game with Garden Swartz Team Sales. They have everything you need, from screen printing, embroidery, and digital printing services, high school letterman jackets, and all high school and club uniforms, and individual and team apparel with the most reliable brands like Speedline, Rollins, and Wilson. And don't forget to check out the latest F7 Shut helmet. It's all at Garden Swartz Team Sales. Give them a call, 505-884-1234. Garden Swartz Team Sales.
Is this my car?
State Farm knows that for every one of those moments,
This is ridiculous!
there's one of these.
Is this my car? What? This is ridiculous.
This can't be happening!
This can't be happening.
Oh, it's happening, sweetheart.
Oh, it's happening, sweetheart.
Shut up.
Shut up!
That's why State Farm is there, with car insurance for when things go wrong, but also here with car loans to help life go right. State Farm.
Talk to State Farm agent Marty Size or Michelle Rudolph in Albuquerque today.
There you go. Glad you could join us. I've had I've had 3 or 4 cups of coffee this morning, and it's not enough. It's just not enough. So we need Metro baseball and softball to get me going. But I gotta get hyped up on a Monday, and so how am I gonna get hyped up? Let's play a little. How am I? I'll just let you intro it, Jay.
Also Harvard University.
I love it!
What's up, people? Yeah. You know, I'm on the first level of the original Mario game, you know, just kicking it.
You got flying that flute.
Oh, man, that is the best thing I think I've seen. Yes, that's the best one yet. That's the best one yet.
How did
you get there?
What character would I be, though? That's kind of the... I'm feeling a Bowser kind of vibe. I feel like I'd be the Bowser.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going with Bowser.
Jay, can you like put me as a little guy jumping over Alden, and then
I can like go down, you know?
And then I'll we'll see if you can make that happen. That'd be nice.
I'm gonna.
Metro championships were this weekend, and it's crazy because going from basketball to baseball, it's actually a pretty difficult world for us at least. But some good stuff and some district rivalries, and I'll start with softball. In fact, let's look at the highlights real quick, Jay, for the softball highlights, and then I'll talk to Alden about it. Here's what happened between Volcano Vista and Rio Rancho.
That one sent deep into the outfield, right there on the track, and gone for the first 2 of the game. Sees the first pitch and takes it. out to her own position and takes it out of the park. Has that one sent over right on the left field line. Coming home. It's going to be a close one, and she beat.
Man, this beat is crazy.
She drills one. That's an RBI for her. And that one's driven to center field. Out of here! Another home run for Rio Rancho. And that one drilled out to the gap. And over and out. There's another home run for the Rams. It's going to bring home 3. Taken out to her own position. A run will certainly score there as both runners advance. A lot of stolen bases for those ladies as you see them hoist the trophy. 2019 Metro champion.
Them Rams, Alden, tell me about it. You were there.
Yeah, man, it was, you know, being at softball, it was a little different, you know. 10 a.m., like I'm out there at like 8:30 a.m. It's cold outside, like especially since I cut my dew off, you know. It was a little, my head was a little cold. I probably should have brought a beanie, honestly, but you know. Oh, hey, what's up, little head Adam over there?
All right.
And,
can I try to like jump over or on top of him? That was a little bit ridiculous. All right, so but Rio Rancho bombing, all over the place.
Rio Rancho, they hit 3 home runs. I mean, and that was pretty much the difference. I mean, this game was like a 2.5-hour game. It was fun though being out there. I can't wait till it gets a little warmer though in the mornings because they have those like shade things, and usually those things are your friend, right?
No.
And then, but not in the morning like this early in the season. So it was a little cold out there, but you know, it was a great time though. Rio Rancho balled out. Volcano, I mean, they're no slouches, even though it was 11-2. I feel like just their pitching just didn't really show up that well on that day, but I expect big things from Volcano down the line as well.
All right, well, let's shift gears and let's go over to the baseball Metro Final. How about this? It's Cleveland taking on Rio Rancho, the 2 rivals, for the first time for the final.
There's a shot, but it looks straight up. It looks deep. That should be enough to get the score, the runner at third home. And indeed it does. Jennings with the sacrifice fly. There's a swipe, and that one looks like it's good, and indeed it is. That should bring Toledo home. Schellenberger once again second. The left fielder slips. Schellenberger's going to try for third.
He's going to make it.
He's going to make it. He gets the extra slide just in case. Swing right straight to dead center. Oh, misjudged it. Did the center fielder, and it's going to bring in 2 runs. How do you score that one?
I got to give him a double because he never made it back.
Okay. And it's out of bounds. That'd be a foul out.
Yes,
there it is. Does it get through? And it does. Rio Rancho gets on the board as Ramos takes a look at second. Diehl. Nice swing. That's going to drop. And it does. That brings home a second run. Roddy's still on the mound. Inside, this time Toledo's not able to hold the runner as he goes to third, and he's safe. And it goes deep, and now it looks like the runner's going to be able to make it home, and indeed he does. Bad throw, so scoring is Castaneda. There's a swing. Out! Called out. Woo! That was a delayed call. So the Cleveland Storm wins the Metro Area Championship.
The reason for the heavy celebration there, Alden, was because that was Cleveland's first ever Metro Championship win as they defeat the Rio Rancho Rams. And so congratulations to the Cleveland Storm. And Tristan Schallenberger, he's the player to watch, man. I mean, he's been playing since an 8th grader. He's now a senior, and now he's taking over. He had 2 home runs in the semifinals against Volcano Vista, who were the 1 seed, and now he had an outstanding game in the championship and really leading his Cleveland Storm. I'm actually going to bring Josh Brown in because you were there, JB. This Cleveland team, they were on point in this tournament, and they deserved to win it, yeah?
Yeah, they did. I mean, they took the lead early. I mean, it was no home runs in that one, really windy out at Rio Rancho, but they were getting deep balls into the outfield, playing small ball, driving them in. I mean, Cleveland looked like the whole package there. And then Rio Rancho got a few runs in, but, I mean, their pitching was dominant. You saw that last strikeout for the win. Cleveland's a real deal, looking good.
All right. Well, what do you think, Alden? You see Cleveland and Rio Rancho go at it, and Cleveland get their first ever Metro title. But do you think maybe the thing is Cleveland's got to make their run in the state tournament now, yeah?
Yeah. You know, I have big hopes for Cleveland. I just want, like, I root for this school like so hard, and then they just never finish, and it's hard on my soul. But but you know, I feel like if the
all right, you hype or not hype on Cleveland making a run in baseball this year towards the blue?
I'm going to say hype, but, you know, that Metro Championship, winning that, it's like a curse.
Yeah,
it's a curse.
It is the curse.
So I don't know if I can count, like, prove me wrong, Cleveland Storm.
I think the only team to do
Please.
it is La Cueva. La Cueva in baseball is not so much a curse. Well, if you're La Cueva in baseball, nothing's a curse.
I mean, even in basketball, West Mesa, I mean, they had to win 3 Metro championships before they could win 1 state championship.
That's true.
So, I mean, it's a
Now, and
slippery
looking
slope.
at this, Cleveland in basketball won the Metro Championship too, right? And they've won 3 times in the last 5 years, and in all 5 of those years they have not gotten it done on the court. So that's tough, right? So hopefully the baseball's thinking the same.
Just like imagine like that basketball team if you just like if you did like an all-star game, like all-star team in like the past 5 years of Cleveland basketball.
A lot of D1 talent.
Ridiculous. Yeah, ridiculous.
It's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
All right. Man, I feel like we're taking a lot of shots at Cleveland basketball today.
We love you guys, though. We love you.
Anybody
Menez, friend of the program.
Any question for Alden? Any hype or not hype for Alden back there? You got anything for him?
Are you hype on baseball season? Nope. Are you already? Are you hype? Are you hype on?
Give me some Cracker Jacks. Give me the baseball song. You know, I'm there. You know,
Yeah.
I'll be there filming either way.
Stretching it out?
Yeah,
baseball season and softball season. It is very enjoyable if the weather is good.
Yeah, that's my biggest point.
Then we're all about it.
That wind, though. That wind is not a joke. You people out there know this, too, living in Albuquerque and just in New Mexico in general. Watch out for that wind. That wind's your enemy.
Yep. I guess you hype on Duke and UNC in the finals?
Is Gonzaga still in it? Or is Gonzaga still in it? Because you guys know how big of a Gonzaga fan I am.
Yep.
Yeah, like I love bleed Gonzaga. But yeah, you know what? If I'm hype on anybody versus Duke, I'm trying to see somebody, the best team versus Duke in the championship.
All right. All right.
Yeah, Gonzaga. Yeah, you know what? That rematch would be perfect. Gonzaga, UNC. If
Coming from Mario 1, it's Ball So Hard University. I'd like to thank Isabel Gonzalez from Lobo Lair joining us, of course, for Jay Pohl and Josh Beartrap Brown.
You didn't let me do
Adam
it.
Diehl was saying so long. Go ahead, do it.
You'll never forget the first.
Terry Cosper and